inspire your audience. The title of his speech is Choose to Start Your Life. It's an 8 to 10 minutes speech. Please welcome Adrian. Choose.
I love hearing different definitions of hell. Every culture, every religion, every community seems to have a different variation of it. My favorite definition is one that comes from a life coach. He says that hell isn't an eternity of pain and torture and brimstone, because eventually you'd get used to that. He said hell is only one day, your last day you have on earth. And in this last day, the person you are, the person you became, would meet the person you could have became, the person you could have been. Depending on where your life is, if you've removed all your excuses, removed all your procrastination, you could be heaven if you're the same person, but it also could be hell if the contrast is very starking. If the contrast is so strong, I don't think you care about what lies beyond. I don't think you care about the afterlife. All you care about is your wasted life. The life you could have had, but now it's too late to change, too late to start over. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to inspire you all not to be that person, and in your final days, be in more of a state of heaven than it is to hell. And I'd like to start by asking this question. How's your life going at the moment? Is everything okay? Are you the person you want to be? If I would have asked a child version of yourself, if this is how your adult life would become, do you think they'd be happy? How do you think they'd respond to that? I ask that because a lot of people don't ask themselves these important questions. I like to ask myself every few days to make sure I'm on the track. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people just go through the motions of life without thinking, without questioning, and I was one of them. A lot of people are raised in families they didn't choose. They go to the closest schools in their neighborhood. They work in jobs they don't really enjoy. They buy things they don't like, or to impress people they don't even like that much. And I was one of them. I think through my childhood, from my young teenage years all the way to my young adulthood, I accepted my life as it is. Not happy, but not sad enough to do anything about it. This is what people call the no man's land, where you're not happy, but you're not sad enough to make a change. And I think my lifestyle reflected this. I was always depressed. I didn't like going out. I didn't have many close friends. I found it hard to relate to people. My body was out of shape. I was a fat kid. I hated going to swimming carnivals, the summer events. I found it hard to relate to others, and I enjoyed staying at home more so than communicating to other people. It was only when I met some very successful people my age that I realized that life can be lived in a different intensity, a different way. And it was by then that I chose to start living my life the way I wanted. And if I would have contrasted my life now to how it was before, I think the contrast would be very different. I don't think you even recognize me before. I'm the fittest I've ever been at the moment. I've got a close group of friends who I respect and admire. I'm very close with. A very beautiful girlfriend over there.
No.
Sex is fantastic.
Oh my God.
And you should have said that.
Yeah, you got it.
The contrast is so strong that you wouldn't have recognized me back then. And we all owe it ourselves to start choosing our life, because living in a no man's land is no way to live. And so where does life really begin? A lot of people argue that life begins at conception. A lot of people argue that it begins when you come out of the womb, or maybe when you're self-aware and able to think for yourself. Well, I believe life starts when you're ready to start, when you make the decision to start, because that's what separates us from animals, us from bacteria who are just living. When we accept and choose the life to live in passion, in joy, then our life really begins. So has your life really started? I think a good question to ask ourselves, because it's hard to self-analyze at times because we're the judge, the jury, and the executioner, is how do you start your mornings? Do you wake up in one or two ways? Do you wake up, pull the curtains up, and say, another day of my life. I have to go through peak hour traffic, go through the trains I hate, and go see those losers I work with. I'm not going to learn anything today. I'm going to come home and watch TV shows like I always do. I really hate the way my life has turned out. When will things start to get better? When will my life begin? See, those people, when the final curtains close, they're surprised to find out that the life hasn't really started. And in those final days, they wondered where they all went. Or you're the type of person who wakes up in the morning, brisk out the curtains and say, what a wonderful day! What a glorious day. Today, in peak hour traffic, I'm going to listen to my favorite music. In the trains, I'm going to do my crosswords to work out my brain. I'm going to enjoy hearing what those losers have to say at work because it makes me feel better about myself. I'm going to learn something interesting in my job to help find myself. I'm going to watch TV or read or do things I want to do in time. I'm so thankful for today. I'm so glad that the Lord or whoever has given me the day for today to live another life. My life is awesome. I wouldn't trade this for anything else. If you're the latter, then congratulations, you probably don't need any help from me. But if you're in the former, you and I need to have a little talk. Just one time. Come closer. You all deserve to be happy. You all deserve to have the life you ever wanted. And I say this because the worst part of your life is all over with. The worst part of your life, which was grueling and remorseless and very tragic, is when you were a sperm cell. It was you against millions of others. And if you lost this race, you would have died. But you didn't, you won. You all won. It's like having a city to surf race, and all of Australia is there with you. And not only do you have to complete this race, but you have to come first. And if you didn't come first, you were dead and forgotten and tragic. But you didn't. You all won. You're all born a winner. And so you've earned the right to be here. You've earned the right to your life, and you've earned the right to be happy from now until ever after. So choose to live the life you've always wanted. Now some little guidelines. Success isn't about what you know in your head. It's not about toys or materials. It's not being the richest man in the graveyard. The most successful people don't have everything, the best of everything. They make the best of what they have. And that's a big difference. Success doesn't come from one big thing. There's no air horn that sounds out and says you win. What it is a series of small little increments in your life, small little decisions that instead of staying back, you went for. And one day you wake up with a wonderful life, and you've wondered how you got here, and that's all just the little things, and that's when you know you've had a life well lived. I'd like to conclude with this story. We each have the Jekyll and Hyde in us. We each can be a monster or a beautiful person. We're each capable of being greedy, horrible, miserable, depressive. Bring out the worst in people. Or we can choose to be happy, joyous, spiritual, confident, bold, do everything we want. Now, which side of us is more real? Which side of us comes out the most? It's whatever you feed. So feed the good side of you and choose to start your life. Thank you.